Hi, it is our Jesse tree for the 6th day of Advent. Where we left off was with the story of Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah. And now we move on to the stories of Isaac's family. Isaac and his wife Rebekah had twin sons, Esau and Jacob. And as you read these stories in the Bible, it starts to become clear that God is not calling on people who are perfect. The people that populate the stories of the Old Testament as well as the New Testament are people who are greatly flawed, and yet God calls them. God loves them. God calls them to love Him and to follow Him and follow His ways. So now we get to the story of Jacob and Esau, these twins. Esau is born first, and all along the way, Jacob is just kind of mean to his brother. They epitomize sibling rivalry, and as they grow, Jacob just steals the benefits that Esau has as the firstborn child, stealing first his birthright from their father for a bowl of stew, and then stealing the blessing that was intended from Isaac to Esau. And we're going to pick up that story. We're still in Genesis. We're going to pick up that story in the 28th chapter of Genesis. We start to see Jacob and Esau in the 25th chapter. But there's lots of stuff going on with Jacob. Let's see. We're going to start at verse 10 in the 28th chapter. Again, I'm using the Message translation, which is a modern language version of the Bible, written by Eugene Peterson, or translated by Eugene Peterson is probably a better word. So Jacob left Beersheba, and he's leaving Beersheba because it's probably the final straw. He has stolen the blessing from his twin brother Esau, and Esau is mad, and Jacob is on the run, fearing for his life justifiably, because he has done some really horrible things to his brother. So Jacob left Beersheba and went to Haran. He came to a certain place and camped for the night, since the sun had set. He took one of the stones there, set it under his head, and lay down to sleep. And he dreamed. A stairway was set on the ground, and it reached all the way to the sky. Angels of God were going up and down on it. Then God was right before him, saying, I am God, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. I am giving the ground on which you are sleeping to you and to your descendants. Your descendants will be the dust of the earth. They'll stretch from west to east and from north to south. All the families of the earth will bless themselves in you and your descendants. Yes, I'll stay with you. I'll protect you wherever you go, and I'll bring you back to this very ground. I'll stick with you until I've done everything I promised you. Jacob woke up from his sleep. He said, God is in this place, truly, and I didn't even know it. He was terrified. He whispered in awe, incredible, wonderful. Holy, this is God's house. This is the gate of heaven. Jacob was up first thing in the morning. He took the stone he had used for his pillow and stood it up as a memorial pillar and poured oil over it. He christened the place Bethel, which means God's house. So even though Jacob does some horrible things, He still finds favor in God's eye, and God is not going to abandon him. He promises to be with him, and we take the ornament on our tree with the ladder that symbolizes that dream that Jacob had while he was fleeing, that dream of angels going up and down the ladder from heaven to earth. And we'll place that on our tree for today. So have a good night.